It's time to explore something that we've been waiting a very, very long time for. Now, Arknights has crossed over into Limbus Company. Two awesome games that I love to play here on the channel finally have a collab. And yes, we're a little late jumping into it, but it's gonna be so much fun to see the world of TERRA in the lens of Limbus Company. So, let's get started. What is up, everybody? It's me, Johnny G. Welcome back to the channel and to the stream. As always, I appreciate each and every one of you for taking the time out of your day to hang out here while we're live. And for those of you watching on the VOD later, you are awesome as well. I'm very, very hyped right now, guys. I've been excited about this all day. I've been excited about this for a couple of days, but it's finally here, and I'm very excited to jump into this. Now, I missed out initially Thursday, had a little too much going on and ended up moving it between sick family and stuff like that. I ended up moving my stream, which was supposed to be yesterday, but we had internet out for quite some time. It only just came back on this morning, so everything's been okay. So hopefully we'll be good for tonight, but I'm excited to jump into this. There's so much to do, and I got to react to the trailers for this earlier. So if you didn't see that, well, you'll have to check that out later on the channel. But ooh, okay. So we got everybody jumping in already. Lucky Musey, how's everybody doing tonight? Biotech, what's up? I hope they get well soon. They will. They're on the upward slope, we'll say. It was, for them, it seemed like 24-hour stomach bug. Me, I'm still, my chest, I didn't get sick the way they did, but I'm still dealing with chest congestion, so I might not have the best voice tonight, but I'll still try. Everybody else is doing a lot better, though, thankfully. Rosabels, hi, I'm gonna use you as a podcast while working. Hope you have fun. Well, appreciate you being here. No problem with that. Hopefully, my podcasting voice won't do too bad for you. Hype, exactly. After watching the trailers today, chat, I am very, very hyped for this. I'm very excited because it looks so well done. It looks like Project Moon really worked with Hypergriff as well as really delved into the story and did their research to create something potentially magical here, and I'm very excited to play this. So I don't want to take too long before we jump into it, but I will just preface this with the fact that because of the daily login thing that was going on and getting some different stuff built up, I went into this doing my daily logins and things like that, and I did buy a little bit of lunacy and stuff like that. So I did already get the E.G.Os that were available in the extractions. So I have the Mlynar Gregor E.G.O. I do have Faust Kaltsit, and I have the Honglu Ling E.G.O. So those are all ready. We're ready to go with those. And the only one that I need yet is the Ishmael Skadi, which is in the event. So we'll get that at some point. But I did buy the Amiya announcer as well. So we have that, and that's ready to be used. I have her equipped as well. So I'll show you guys what I've been doing with my team, with my sinners. I've went through kind of a process of using all the stuff that's been given throughout, like the giveaways, the login events, and things like that since I've started playing, as well as some other things that I got through the one pack that I bought to upgrade my IDs and upgrade E.G.Os and things like that. So I've gotten some progress on powering up my team a little bit. So I'm excited. I'm very excited to see how they do. So but we'll show you everything when we get in. I've been more focused on reverse trying to keep up with Arknights. It's no problem. I understand completely. Yay, I haven't got any of the E.G.Os yet. Aw. How's that voice doing, Lucky? Are you doing any better with your voice? I hope so. Musey, you got all of them. Awesome. All right. Well, let me go ahead and we'll jump in here. So that way I could show you guys everything before we get into it. We're going to try to keep things sort of short tonight. Not too short, but I want to get in, and I'm going to have a couple hours here, but I do work tomorrow. But I will come back, and we'll continue. We'll pick up where we left off tomorrow for sure. But let's go ahead for now, and let's see how far we can go tonight. Oh, I love this loading screen. They did so well. Ah, it's so cool. Seeing Dante and Amiya and Doctor all together. Ah, this is so cool. No, it's still bad, if not worse right now. Oh. Now you're gonna make me sad. I don't want to hear that. I want to hear that it's getting better. Well, just keep doing whatever you need to get that healed up. I haven't played Limbus and I want to, but I have no time with how much content I make for Arknights. Oh, I don't blame you. Downloading 12 gigs. Wow. I haven't played this in forever on here, apparently. But we'll let it update while we're chatting. You're making some great Arknights stuff, though. I've been watching your stuff. Definitely fun, though. Limbus is awesome. It's one of those things where... this here, having this crossover is really just making me so excited for it. But this is my favorite game ever. There's no voice acting for this event, but that's in the spirit of Arknights too. Ooh, okay. That's awesome. I'm looking forward to the Exusiae Altar event coming up here for Arknights. I don't know if I'm gonna get into that right at. Why am I? Okay. Looks like we're lagging a little bit here on YouTube because of the update. So we'll let it go. I should have checked this and updated it before, so that's my bad. I am a dummy. It's still trying. Yep, it's still trying to do stuff here. Almost halfway. Okay. All right. 85%, 86. Are we smoothing out? Are we smoothing out? I think we're starting to smooth out a little bit. Maybe. All right, we'll check on. We'll see. Downloading resources. It froze. Oh no. Oh, wait. Here we go. Also, this game has spaghetti code. All right, we'll give it a couple minutes here. We'll make sure that this picks up good now, since it seems to be being what else is doing. Is everything starting to look better for everybody else? Excuse me. Okay. Did you say anything about what I said before the lag? Was it about reverse sends you a schedule of what's coming up? I think we're catching up even on like my YouTube live side of things. Looks like it's really starting to pick up. So as I refresh over there, it looks like it's picking up and getting a little more close to the beginning here, or not to the beginning, to current time. I refreshed and I think we're good. Awesome. Okay. So I think we are good. We'll just make sure everybody else seems good and then we will get moving here. But the analytics, there we go. I got my YouTube studio back up and it's looking a little more current. Yeah, we good? Awesome. All right. So, what is this? Okay. All right. Testing. Mic test. 1, 2, 3. Microphone test. Okay, so we'll get started here and we'll just show everybody kind of where we're currently at with my sinners. So this is the only team. I don't have multiple teams made. I'm still working with one single team, and this is kind of where I'm at with my current IDs that I've been working with. But I just switched over. I haven't really tried her yet, but I just switched over to this ID for Don Quixote. But I did get her here. I got this E.G.O for her, so I'm excited for that because I've been wanting this one for a while. That came as I was doing pulls. Faust. We have... yeah. E.G.O. There we go. So I changed Fluid Sack just in order to have Kaltsit here on. So I'm excited for that. So we'll get to try that out. Command Meltdown. So cool. I'm so excited. And I am this far with doing things. So IDs, Lobotomy Corp Remnant. So I've got some other stuff here with since I've last played, really. I've got yeah. What's it called? The picture's different now, but I was calling him Uba Musume Yisang because he had the ears in the initial picture. But yeah, that was exciting. Dimension Shredder, I kept that on. Who else did I change? I don't think I did anything for Ryoshu. No, I haven't done anything. Oh, yeah, I meant to put that on. I don't know why. And I don't have any E.G.O for her. Says you have some new stuff. Very, very good, Dawn. Best Faust. You want all the collab E.G.O on? Definitely. Either Heisho or N-Corp Faust is good. He is a horse. There's likely a chance of another dip in the internet again like now. Okay. Edgar is best, yes. Okay. And then as far as Honglu goes, I only have 2 E.G.Os for him, but well, I have these ones as well. So yeah. Cavernous Wailing. I got this one through polling, so I got 3 egos. My bad. But I have this one. I haven't done anything with it yet, but of course we have this one. We have Honglu and Ling, so I'm excited to use this one. Give this a try tonight. But I maxed it out already as far as that goes. And then Gregor. Oh, yeah, I didn't switch over to this either. I've got this guy. So that's exciting. And then, of course, I've got to add that on because I haven't done it. We have the Mlynar E.G.O. And he looks so cool with this. And the artwork and in the video in the trailer showing him with like the horse form really got me excited. I was not expecting that. It was so cool. All right, so E.G.O. for Honglu, E.G.O. for Gregor, and E.G.O. for Faust. I have those all ready to go. Do I have anybody else? So I have other new ones here that I haven't done anything with. So I've got a 3-star, whoops, for, yeah, why is my brain blanking? What's her name? I am completely blanking, chat. It's been that long of me actually just playing, but I have not done anything with her. I don't have anything. Well, I did get this Sinclair. I have the one who show grip, which I haven't done anything yet. I've been using this one. Branch of Knowledge. Lord Honglu is perfect for Heisho teams. You want all Heisho if you can help it because of Honglu. It's crazy. Sync is fine, okay. Otis, okay. 7 will also work because of Rupture teams. Okay. But yeah, I've got some of these that I haven't messed with yet as far as Sinclair. Los Mariachis Jefe. That's pretty cool. Who else? I haven't done anything with Rodion, but I have these as far as her IDs go, and I don't have any egos for her, so I haven't done anything there either. I'm still using Reindeer Ishmael right now, but I also have the Picard Captain, Lou Association, South Section 4. Yeah, I have some pretty good stuff here for her. I don't know why it changed to the other one, unless I accidentally did that. And then, oh yeah, this is supposed to be Lobotomy E.G.O. Sun Shower for, yeah, for Heathcliff. So that's pretty much where we're at as far as my team goes. And then, like I said, announcer, I've got Amiya and Dante selected, so we'll get to use both of them. I think I'm in pretty good shape, and mostly what I've been using team-wise lately has been, as you guys saw the last time I played, was Faust, Don Quixote, Honglu, Sinclair, and Ishmael. So I might have to throw Gregor in there, of course, tonight, but use 7-section Heathcliff for more Rupture. Oh, this one. I haven't done anything with him yet. 000 instead of 3 stars. Yeah. Not actually in this game. You usually want to match by status effects or skill resonance. 7-section plus Heisho will work perfectly for a strong team. Oh, let's see. I've only got 28 ID training tickets right now, so, but we can get them pretty strong with that. We'll go with that. But again, I don't really have anything for E.G.O. Some damage dealers like that Manager Dawn and N Faust. Okay. That's pretty much what I've got right now. I like I said, I'm still... You guys know how early I am in this game, so I don't have anything particular as far as special, you know, teams or anything, but this is what I'm working with. Lost person passive? I'm not sure what that means. You don't have to level since the event will auto level, but it helps for story mode. The event automatically levels you to max if you play on normal difficulty. Oh, okay. Okay. Well, for fun, considering I do have some stuff here and I want to see what this does. Let's do a 10 pull on Faust here and see if we get anything. Just for fun. Ooh, we got 4 reds. Yeah, all stuff I already have. Dupes, so nothing too bad. But, all right. So, it's event time. I'm anxious. Okay. So, what do we do here? Event open. Here we go. Oh, the layout is like an Arknights layout. Look at this. Okay, so we need 1,000. Okay. Ooh, I like these. Ooh, I definitely like these. Okay. Identity box. There's an extraction ticket. Okay. Nice. Okay. I like this. I like the layout. Okay, event bonus unit. 40% gain. You can earn a maximum of 120% boost to the amount of event currency earned. During the event period, deploy the following E.G.O on your team and boost the amount of sea terror. Okay. Stages. Aw. Just lend some strong one on your friends will easier. Okay. Oh, that's good for shards, though. Oh, definitely. You can borrow my Ishmael on each stage. Make sure it has 40% over her head, and you should get the rewards. Awesome. Story takes place after interval of 6, Spring Cultivation. Would you like to view the story anyway? Of course, I want to view the story. Now, how long does this roughly take to beat? Does anybody know? I think 3 E.G.O is enough to get the max. Oh, hey, I want to be able to use Ishmael, at least until I get her, so I'll still borrow. LCPC-1. Oh, they're even doing that? Oh, this is so cool. I love it. Already love it. Okay, here we go. Difficulty level 55. 6 to 8 hours? Okay. You're within 10 turns. Here we go. Creating your own team. Cannot deploy. Whoa. Okay, so we cannot deploy any of these. Interesting. 4 to 4 and support. Well, I'll just use this for now. I'll just grab somebody for support just in case. But that's crazy. Heart is 8.5. Kanto, the knight is Sigma ass. You can only put those 4 for this. Okay, makes sense. Well, here we go. Let's do it. I gotta keep my throat moist. I was exploring a lobotomy corporation branch when my consciousness sinks into the depths. The sense of cognition, itself a concept without form, floats into the shadow of an ever-widening river, swept up in its currents to nowhere. When we ran into an abnormality. But Sod told us that Hongyuan's lobotomy corp branch should be free of any abnormalities. The abnormality which had appeared out of nowhere was more otherworldly than any we'd encountered so far in our journey, and deep blue. It was fathomlessly blue. It seemed to have a pull that endlessly drew us into itself. Just as I was about to recall this abnormality, A myriad of sceneries and a flood of incalculable tongue twister thoughts crash into my mind like waves before ebbing away from its shores. Wow. I was already lost and adrift somewhere within my own consciousness when I realized this. Just how long am I going to be adrift? The sensation of my own consciousness floating away is quite the unfamiliar one. I floated about in that strange state for a while. An unfamiliar voice seizes my aimlessly drifting consciousness. Are you Dante? The fog in my vision clears as the voice breaks through the waves, and a concerned expression comes into view. Yes, I am. Ah, what a relief. Gregor, I think Dante has come too. So who are... I was about to ask further questions to this stranger with particularly long animal-like ears, but... I felt the drowsiness coursing back with the terrifying memories of the dream, rendering me unable to speak. Anyway, hope you enjoy it. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I have to get a hold of myself. After an indeterminate amount of time had passed, I barely managed to wake myself from slumber to get a grasp of my surroundings, only to find myself surrounded by more unfamiliarities. There was that stranger from earlier, sitting atop a rock and silently taking in the sights, the young girl who probably saved my life. Wait, so were those animal ears after all? Okay, that's not important right now. I have to prioritize figuring out just where in the world I ended up in. So we're standing by the Iberian coastline. How are you feeling? A little out of it, but I'm okay otherwise. Iberia, huh? Yes, we're in Iberia. Well, given that we're next to an ocean, maybe I drifted all the way to U-Corp's Great Lake? Iberia was an unfamiliar name, but that was all I had to go on, given that the city was still full of more unknowns than knowns to me. I radioed your colleagues when you briefly woke up earlier. You'll be here any minute. I see. Wait, my colleagues? You must have run into the sinners then. The fog of my mind immediately cleared as soon as I realized that the sinners were all nowhere to be seen. Sinners? She looks so cute in this art style. I love it. They have done so well. Everything I've seen so far in the trailers and all of it, the art style of Project Moon, of Limbus Company, taken over with the Arknights characters, them in that art style, and of course these E.G.Os and everything. It's just so well done, and they look so perfect. They look amazing in this art style. I love to see it. I can't wait to see more. I think so. I ran into them earlier. They were looking all over the place for someone with a clock for their head. It was a pretty unique description, so I could tell right away that you were the person they were looking for. So this clock head does come in handy. Wait. She's talking to him, so she understands him. Okay. I'm sure that'll be brought up or something. Anyways. Manager Bud. Dante. I'd woken up in an unfamiliar place to an unfamiliar face, and in the midst of this all-around sense of displacement, the faces that appeared before me were certainly a sight for sore eyes. Gregor, Hong Lu. Miss Rabbit here told me she found you unconscious by the ocean, and phew, I came as fast as I could, and oh boy, I was worried that something bad might have happened. Glad to see you're doing fine. Were you lost at sea? I don't know. Well, I do think I'm fine, though. I guess not having any way to drink water's finally come in handy. You should go get that checked out just in case. Wait, your head's waterproof, right? Gregor takes a moment to steady his breathing, then mutters a casual quip as he lights a cigarette. Well, he doesn't seem that concerned. Maybe we're not actually in that much danger. So, what happened? Where are we? Do you remember entering that Lobotomy Corp branch Sishun told us about? Ah, yeah. Yeah, we ran into a new abnormality and got sucked into it before we even had the chance to do anything. Man, I really thought that was it for us. Especially with you getting sucked in there too, Manager Bud. But when we came to, despite waking up with our faces down in some ditch, we were all fine without a scratch. Though there was quite the mess when we realized that you'd gone missing. Excuse me. We wanted to search for you immediately, but it took a while before we got a better bearing of where we were. So we're not at U-Corp's Great Lake? Some of us considered that to be a distinct possibility, but it's unlikely. Ishmael was really certain that we were not in District 21. She did concede that we might be in an unknown area within the Great Lake of the outskirts, but that doesn't seem likely either, given what the rabbit-eared lady there said. The outskirts regions of the Great Lake. I've met all kinds of people from all over TERRA, but I've never met anyone who referred to the Iberian Sea that way. TERRA? Iberia? As I found myself puzzled by these unfamiliar terms, a very obvious question suddenly struck me. Speaking of which, who are you? Huh? Really? You fellas haven't introduced yourself to each other yet? It's just that it's all a lot to take in. It's understandable. You did just wake up from a pretty harrowing experience. She is, actually, would you like to do the honors yourself? I'm Amiya, the leader of Rhodes Island. Please, just call me Amiya. I'm Dante, manager at Limbus Company. I know I'm late, but thanks for saving my bacon. It seems that this Rodeo Island is a pretty big pharmaceutical corporation, but... Gregor trails off ominously and scratches his head before continuing with some mild trepidation. This young lady with the rabbit ears doesn't know what the head is, at all. As far as I know, there aren't any organizations in TERRA with that same characteristics as the one Mr. Gregor explained. At least not with a name like the Head. Also, sorry, it's Rhodes Island, not Rodeo. Sorry, Gregor's kind of bad with names. So, what you're saying is that we're not in the city anymore. It'd be weird for any higher-up at these huge corporations to know less about the Head than we do, let alone be completely clueless about it. Well, maybe we've tumbled into a previously undiscovered zone of the outskirts or the ruins, probably. Or maybe we've really found ourselves in a completely different world. If their conjecture is correct, we're in a way bigger trouble than I thought. This wasn't like the time we accidentally stranded ourselves in the outskirts via a door in the corridor. Amiya stared at me with some concern as though she felt my distress. I think I can draw a connection to something else that's happening here. Really? Yes. Recently, anomalous signs and events have been occurring in Iberia, ever since a mysterious dimensional door appeared at sea. And it's been said that this dimensional door is connected to something very, very distant, to something that we've never observed before, so... Seems reasonable to theorize that the dimensional door is how we managed to cross over to this world. I really would have appreciated Faust's input, but where'd all the other sinners go anyway? A bit late on the uptake to be gawking around for the other sinners now, don't you think? There's a settlement near here, where they're all helping out with various odds and ends of the village, while taking turns searching for Dante, of course. You know, I never thought about how difficult it'd be to search for someone when we're like fish out of water, too. Man, barely got even a wink of sleep since yesterday. Everyone's gotta be really tired then, so it's just you two out here for now. No, Ishmael and Yi-Sung are the other half of the search party. We just happen to be the last group in the rotation. They must be searching elsewhere to find you, Manager Bud. We got the news early thanks to Amiya's comms gear, but the other team didn't. Yeah, we got lucky. The other team, well, we don't have any way to get in touch with them, so they'll probably continue their search until their shift is done. Oh, are we talking about that village you mentioned earlier? Uh-huh. Right. You've not been there yet, huh? Guess it's a bit off the beaten path. Well, we're going to have to rendezvous with the other sinners anyway, so let's head to the village for now. Something seemed to pique Amiya's interest as she fell into a contemplative silence before carefully speaking up. I would like to accompany you there. Sure, I don't see why not. You helped us find Manager Bud, and more importantly, you seem to know a lot more about this place than we do. I don't actually know Iberia that well either.
but I should be able to be of some help. They've closed their borders and have practically locked out any foreign influences from affecting them, but I did get a briefing before the mission.
Closed borders, huh? Then how did you get in, Miss Amiya?
We followed Dr. Kaltsit's directions and illegally crossed the country border.
Oh my god, of course. Illegally? Oh, does that mean you crossed the border without obtaining any permission, Amiya?
We had to cross the border somehow in order to investigate how and why the dimensional door came to be.
Huh? Is it normal for pharmaceutical companies to be doing that? Large pharmaceutical companies often dispatch their agents for missions.
Yes, Rhodes Island is, in its essence, a pharmaceutical company researching treatments for people infected with oropathy. But we also work to prevent and assist in the management of various situations that can occur in high-risk areas.
High-risk areas, huh? Wait, what about your companions? I doubt you came all the way here on your own.
That's, we were forced to split up due to certain forces that were in pursuit. Wait, stop!
Amiya's ears twitched as she came to a stop and began scanning the surrounding area. Then...
There!
As we stood about confused, Amiya, noticing something, pointed towards the seashore hidden behind large and cragged rock formations. What are we supposed to... Huh?
Skadi!
There, we saw someone wielding a lengthy greatsword, bickering with two familiar faces, Ishmael and Yisong.
Again, move. You're in the way.
You needn't worry as you do. We have had ample experience battling monsters who are much like them.
Listen, I'm not worried, it's... Come on, better to have 3 fighters than 1, right? Besides, you're the first person we ran into out here, so we've got a lot of questions to ask.
Yisong, Ishmael, Dante, you are unharmed.
And here I was, getting ready for a 3 days long search. What a relief. We were all really worried that we might never be able to find you.
Ooh, we managed to find them thanks to help from Miss Amiya here.
Amiya?
Are you two acquainted?
Not a good time for a reunion. It can wait until after we take out the sea monsters. Skadi, are those organisms the Seaborns Dr. Kaltsit mentioned? They're sea terrors, to be specific, the less sophisticated ones among them. And they're probably here for me.
Sea terrors. I hear the sticky noise of something viscous slithering against the rocks. When I turn to face the origin of the unsettling noise, I smell the heavy, wet scent of brine. At the end of my gaze awaits strange monsters, unlike distortions, unlike abnormalities, unlike anything I'd ever seen. It is as though the sea itself is encroaching on the land. That is so cool. We got the Seaborn. We're dealing with Seaborn in Iberia just like Arknights, but it's in the lens and the vein of Limbus Company, and this is awesome. Telepathy. Wish it wasn't just egos you get.
Yeah, I mean, I could see them doing identities, but the egos really match the characters. I think they're really well done with what they've chosen for who from Arknights matches who in Limbus Company so far. And again, I'm sure, I said this when I did the reaction to the trailers, I'm sure that they had other plans or other ideas for the other sinners, but you know, who knows if maybe someday, if this is really successful enough to justify them doing more crossover in the future, maybe we'll see more. Maybe there will be IDs. Maybe there will be more other egos for the other sinners. And in the end, maybe we'll get something on the Arknights side too, which would be fantastic. But this is really, really cool. Is this the John Arknights? Maybe. You never know. This event takes place in the past after the first Seaborn event, I think, but before Path of Life and such. That seems to be what I'm gathering so far, just because Amiya was not present on the coastline when it came to things with Path of Life, so I don't even remember if she was involved. I think it was just Doctor and Kaltsit at that point, because then it was Skadi and Opianus and them and Lumen and Irene. And if those are lesser Seaborn, then probably this would probably be one of the earlier events for sure. Where whereabouts in Under the Tides or Saltifera Navies, something like that. But regular Amiya 2, not medic version or anything exactly. So this is probably in around Under the Tides, something like that. But yeah, apparently Amiya wasn't there. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's, if I'm remembering right, she was back at Rhodes Island during Path of Life. So this would have to be in around then, which makes it more interesting in terms of them exploring and learning more about the Seaborn. So, ooh, yeah. All right. I was almost certain we weren't at the Great Lake, but I'm not so sure anymore. Her experiences with the thick scent of brine at the Great Lake must have put her in a wary mood, as Ishmael seemed to be a lot more apprehensive about these monsters than anyone else. Do you think those creatures could be whales or mermaids? I don't know. The Great Lake and the outskirts are full of unexplored mysteries after all. Dante, what do your senses say? It's unclear. I'd say the closest comparison I could make is with the whales, but even that's not conclusive. More enemies on the horizon. We should prepare for battle. Doesn't seem like we can talk things out with them, though. So let's take them out. Ha ha ha, here we go. Ooh. Get to fight Seaborn in a different game. This is so cool. Okay. Alright, we're just gonna go like that. Really? Oh, it's so cool. The design of the stage, that's awesome. Right, so he's staggered. Favored, dominating. Do that. Be careful not to pop Ish skill 3 too soon, or she might hurt your own guys like that. Oh, that's I didn't even notice which skill I used for her, so that's my fault. That's one thing I'm still not used to is memorizing like which skills are which. I just need to look and see if we have duplicates on the field, I guess. So that's a dupe. Okay. Here we go. Okay. So cool seeing them here. Seaborn monsters. Okay. Oh, wow. Okay. You could just see it based on the description and how fancy the border is.
짐승들의 재갈을 풀게.
소란이 줄었네요.
이 정도면 넌 깔끔하게 덮어야 수면에 빠지시는가.
Baby.
味方が優勢です。今こそ勝機をつかむ時です。
Would you stop? There we go.
자, 목을 떨쳐줄지 잘 생각해보라고.
Dawn would have a field day.
그대로 꿰었소리라.
Also, did you notice a new status effect? The swirly circle. I didn't notice that. Wait, what's going on?
Mission accomplished.
Oh Oh, is that cool? I love that. Let's go. We got the mission accomplished ending. That's so cool. Oh, man. They really did go all out with this. That's so cool. I missed the status effect, though. I don't know what that was, so... Ncorp Yisung kills your own units to deal super damage. Okay. Man, that was awesome. Okay, wow. I can feel my cheeks like, wow, I'm smiling too much. All right, I need to, yeah. Whew, okay. Our remaining enemies have retreated to the sea. Good work, everyone. Ew. Didn't think I'd have to deal with anything remotely like this outside the Great Lake. You can say that again. It would have taken us the whole day if that Skadi character didn't occupy the other half while Miss Rabbit helped us from a distance. As we were catching our breath after the battle, I heard a brief hum. When I turned to look at its source, I saw Skadi glaring at me with palpable alarm. Strange people who transform, and a head of clock. I guess they're both technically true. Well, it's nothing more than a theory at this point. I think they have a lot to do with the dimensional door we're supposed to be investigating. Nice to meet you, I guess. I only hear a ticking clock. Oh, so Amiya can understand him, but Skadi can't. That makes sense. Excuse me. Ooh. It's because only us sinners can hear Dante's voice. Huh? What's up? No. I'm just wondering how Miss Amiya can seemingly understand Dante. Yeah, what's going on there? Yeah, it completely flew over my head that I didn't even question how weird this is. Their voice sounds like a ticking clock to me, too, but I don't know. It's almost like I can sense what they're trying to say, what kind of emotion they're trying to convey. Her explanation reminded me of the Blue Boy in Sinclair's past, but I didn't feel quite the uncanny sensation from Amiya that I felt from them. So she can read me kind of like how Virgilius can, I guess. Well, I don't think it's a bad thing. It's true. It's been a bit of a hassle to always need Faust or Hung Lu to translate for you, Dante. I'd like to know exactly how she can understand Dante, but I don't think we've got the luxury of time to sit down and figure this out. So are we heading back? Nervous impairment. Sounds like a plan. It's not like we know anywhere else to go, right? Oh, and Miss Rabbit. Miss Rabbit here will be tagging along too. She said she'd help us find our way back. I'm glad to be working with you two. Also, Miss Ishmael, Mr. Yisung. Took the words right out of my mouth. You've already helped us plenty, and you clearly know a lot more about this place than we do. The journey is long. Perhaps embarking on it ere the sun's fall would be wise. How long's the journey? No idea. It's not like we have a clock with us. I do know that it's not very far. It's not like we have a clock with us, wow. I do know it's not very far, though. We just need to walk along the coastline for a bit. Skadi quietly points in my direction. Oh. Oh, Dante can't tell us time because they're not on time. Then why the clock head? I didn't exactly choose to get myself a clock-shaped head. I looked away from Skadi's inquisitive eyes, which were quite solidly fixed on my head. Coasts of Iberia are hardly good places for people to live. Those things can go anywhere in this world, but they thrive at places that meet the ocean. So how did people manage to build a village at a place like this? The monsters are called Seaborns, or Sea Terrors, yes? While it is true that they pose certain difficulties, they were hardly the kind of monsters with the strength to bring scourge and drive out the local populace. Don't judge them based on that brief skirmish. She's just telling us to be on our guard, right? Skadi can be a bit curt, but she's not a bad person. I don't think she said anything wrong. Nothing rules out the existence of stronger variants of these creatures being out there. Skadi's concern only served to fan my curiosity, but something about her expression communicated that I probably shouldn't pry, so I quietly quickened my pace as we walked to the village. Ah, that's cool. Okay.
또 한 줄 길을 남겼군.
Even the music! Let's
핏물진
go!
길뿐이지만
So cool.
세월이 지나면 홍어는 그제야 알게
That's
되겠지.
awesome. Wow.
이 홍로가
They really are going all out. But
뭘
this
바꿔올지를.
this map design is so cool too. I mean, look at this. Iberian coastline. Oh, there's a ship here. Okay. Village of the Dead Lighthouse. I love it. This hardly looks like a village. It's more like the ruins of one, isn't it? It doesn't seem like they've done any proper upkeep to the place. Not in a while, at least. Oh, wow. This looks very similar to... Wait a second. Can I... Wait. Nah, that's just getting rid of that. This looks very similar to... the village that appeared... I don't think it... The last time I saw it was in the Thorn's Altar event. There was a village that kind of looked like this that popped up in Thorn's past. When he was messing with the alchemic stuff, the alchemic device, and he was doing kind of like street magic with it in a way. It looked very, very similar to this, but it wasn't, I don't think it was in ruins quite like this, so that's interesting to see. Ah, man. Very cool. Very cool. That would be a neat connection. They're really here, living together. Strange buildings tell the stories of former prosperity from a bygone era. Our steps leave no footprints on the wet, muddy ground. On it, I see a rotting sign marked with the name Faro Muerto. Everywhere I look in this village, I see evidence of long, silent abandonment. Okay, wait a second. It said Faro Muerto. Let's see. Does that show up? I don't know if that's supposed to... Grand Pharaoh. I don't think that's supposed to be that, so I don't know. We'll keep reading on. We don't see these kinds of abandoned-looking ruins often in the city either. Well, yeah, there's always someone or something out there waiting to capitalize on that free real estate, be it a syndicate or a corporation, and fix it up. Better than this, at least. So, where are the sinners? Ah, there's a clearing down there where... we were entrapped betwixt a twain of great ships, narrowing winds against our sail. Oh... and that is when young Ishmael boomed, her command most resonant. Say no more. I didn't even have to try to search for them. That unmistakably sonorous and familiar voice echoing triumphantly between the empty buildings. That's Don Quixote's voice when she's sharing her adventurous tales. A lot of this event is made for this collab especially. Okay. Sounds like N-Corp E.G.O's Geek Specialist. There she was, standing atop a low podium like an actor on stage, regaling a group of people in rags with tales of our adventures like a traveling thespian. Answers, ye dogs, oarsmen! 'Tis the moment I, Ishmael, the first mate of vessel Mephistopheles, shall Stop! Hold on. Just what do you think you're doing? Young Ishmael, unhand my mouth, for I was just about to regale them with the most fantastic tale of adventures at the great Manager Esquire. Verily, thou hast returned with Manager Esquire safely in tow. What? They found Clockhead. A burning clock for a head. When I was a child, I heard a story about a legendary Sarkaz with a flaming head. Why would someone like that visit our humble village? While their exterior may carry elements that inspire fear in some, there's no cause for alarm. Yeah, they might look like that, but they're Dante, our manager, and the rest are... Oh, hello. I'm sorry. Who are you two? Oh, man. They're two very nice people who helped us find Dante. This is Miss Amiya, leader of Rhodes Island. And this is Miss Skadi, their operator. He'll be coming along with us for a little while.
Eh? With us?
We believe that the dimensional door, which we at Rhodes Island are investigating, has something to do with why you suddenly woke up here in Iberia. Miss Amiya was bringing the sinners up to speed. The villagers, who were staring at us curiously, approached us. Did our conversation manage to convince them that we're not a threat? I sure hope so. You are friends of our saviors. Saviors? Verily, 'tis quite the grand title, yet that is indeed the word by which we are addressed. To be more precise, by saviors, they're referring only to Faust and Otis. Faust gave me a light nod when we made eye contact, but I could tell that her lips were drawing a very, very subtle smiling arc. So I'm guessing something did happen. They were quite mistrustful upon our initial arrival.
What business do outsiders have here?
What if they're from the Inquisition? Oh no, what do we do? After all we went through to get here.
Calm yourselves, everyone. None of them are carrying what appears to be their scriptures or lamps. Let's first try to see who they are. Man, I don't think they're gonna trust us anytime soon. They're all old curmudgeons. Let's STNC then PTSD.
You can't do that, Ryushu. We can't pillage their storage depots. It looks like they already have it hard enough as it is. I don't think STNC is a good way to get started either. Should we just find help elsewhere? Just look how thin their arms are. I don't think they're in any shape to help us out.
Perhaps we could inquire as to our whereabouts ere we're to decide our lodging. While the landscape is certainly reminiscent of U-Corp's.
But I don't recall seeing or learning about any place that looks like this, though I can't say I've been to every corner of U-Corp.
I ask again, what business do outsiders have here? Their fingers are tightening around their grips of their weapons. Prolonged silence will most likely turn this into a hostile encounter.
We can't have that. Hi, we're from Limbus Company. We're fixers of justice.
Yeah, that. Fixers of justice. Oi! Don't you know when to keep it down? Fixers?
That over there, it's a ship blueprint, isn't it? Are you looking to repair a vessel by any chance? All these construction materials seem to suggest so. Chief!
This does not concern you. It's not something a mere outsider can understand.
Curious. I've never seen an energy source like this before. Have you run the tests to rule out any stability issues?
It seems to power the heat exchanger via some method comparable to the utilization of fusion energy. Have you any thoughts on this, Miss Faust?
The general design structure is somewhat old-fashioned, but there certainly are inspired parts to this design, particularly with the usage of the core energy source. While its stability would need to be further studied, this technology seems to be incredibly energy efficient.
You identified all that merely by glancing at this blueprint?
You must be the village chief, then. If so, I have a proposition for you.
In return for assisting in their ship repair, we were promised a ride on their vessel. Miss Faust has theorized that perhaps by going out to sea, we may be able to find a way to return to whence we came.
Does that mean we could find a way back somewhere out there in the sea? Nothing is certain yet, Dante. At this moment, we are working based on a hunch.
A hunch? Sensing the implicit omen in her choice of words, I slowly turned around to look at Faust, who nodded solemnly in response. If we're really in a different world, even her Gesellschaft has to be.
No issues were encountered in the repair process.
Faust smiles faintly as she looks around. Then she pulls me in by my hems. She whispers in a low voice.
My connection to Gesellschaft is currently operating at a suboptimal level, Dante.
So it's still connected, at least?
Indeed it is. However, even exchanges of simple information are taking up to dozens of hours by current calculation.
Is this a warp train situation? Because we're in a different dimension?
The cause should be identical. We have been connected to an unidentified, unpredictable dimension. However, Faust is aware that The pathway to our original dimension is yet to close this time, unlike the situation back aboard the warp train. So, to get back where we came from... Indeed, traveling through the pathway is the most feasible solution. And from that, you came up with the whole plan to repair the ship and sail out to the sea? Yes, well... I am also a genius, after all. Amiya conjectured that we probably came through a dimensional door of sorts. Looks like that dimensional door might be what Faust is looking for. With high likelihood, yes. At least there's a way back. I find myself calming down a little. Oh, speaking of which, when do you think you can wrap up the repair job? As fortune should have it, a majority of the most time-consuming parts of the repairs have already been completed by the locals. It shouldn't take us more than a day or two to get its core parts ship-shape again, Executive Manager. We'll be staying here for a few more days then. How did you manage last night? Well, like I said earlier, we've been keeping ourselves busy looking for you this whole time. We took turns helping with the repairs and resting. But I doubt any of us got a proper night's rest. Still, we weren't cold, thanks to the villagers who kept the fire going for us all night. Not to mention how they helped us a ton with that local map they drew us. Oh, also, Chief handed us this earlier. What's it for? Ah, it's like a sack to collect water. Give it here. I know how to get that installed. It must be to repay Miss Faust and Miss Otis's efforts at repairing their ship. Yet, the service they provide us is certainly quite generous, even when taking the transactional nature into account. They're really giving us the best treatment they can, huh? As for food, we managed to fill ourselves with some cookies and bread Radia keeps in her pockets. Didn't want to eat into their food supply when they're already pretty tight, you know? She carries enough cookies and bread for 12 people? They did offer us some nosh, those dried fish things, but we refused. I ain't about taking food from the needy. No need to concern yourself so much with our hospitality. You have done more than enough to earn your keep. Your Faust voice is so nice. I wish I could do it better right now, but with my chest the way it is, I'm definitely not the best with my voices, which kind of sucks. I'm hoping to get better over the next couple of days, because I have a few more voice auditions and things that I need to do, that I need to record. So, and some other stuff that I want to record that are going to require some sharpness to my voice. Excuse me. So, but I appreciate that. I turned around to look at the source of that low, rumbling voice, and saw an old man in an outfit that seemed to distinguish itself amongst the other villagers. There you are, Chief. Is there a place for us to stay the night? We do have places to shelter from the misty humidity at the very least. There is an empty building there, so feel free to occupy it for the night. Oh, are you sure? I mean, I don't mind sleeping in the streets myself. Hey, speak for yourself. I've been looking forward to sleeping with a roof over my head since, like, yesterday. Catch a cold sleeping in the elements in this environment, which is fine by me for the rest of you, but we cannot afford to have the executive manager or our honored guests suffer that fate. Honored guests? I heard what happened from the four who left in search of the executive manager. First, I would like to begin by imparting my infinite gratitude to you for finding and rescuing the executive manager. I hear that you are a leader at a pharmaceutical company. This acquaintance shall certainly come in handy in case our stay becomes significantly prolonged. I'm just surprised by her boldness to say something so materialistic when they're standing right there. Can I stay in your village too, Chief? The village chief took a brief glance at the hems by her right wrist, then nodded. Welcome to Faro Muerto. You are welcome to stay for as long as you want. And please, do let me know if you find yourselves without food. Our food supply may be tight indeed, but we have enough to share with those who helped to repair the vessel. Oh, you better not go back on your word later. I wonder what kind of local delicacies await. Dried fish like they were eating earlier, maybe? Hey, Chief. What is it? Just how are you surviving out here by the sea? Perhaps the question of how we are surviving may be somewhat misdirected. For we are only pursuing every possible avenue because we must survive. The chief responds to Skadi's perceived hostility with a hearty smile. After leaving some firewood for the night, he left. I'm going. Can't learn much more from here. Huh? You're going somewhere at this hour? Skadi, does this have something to do with the coast? I remember what you said before we got to the village. Something about how coasts are hardly good places to live in. Dante wants to know if this has something to do with the coast. Do you understand the Aegir language? Aegir language? No. Dante, Skadi just spoke in Aegirian. I couldn't understand a word of Skadi and the chief's conversation because I don't speak Aegirian. It may only be that there were enough lexical similarity between one of the city's languages and the language Skadi spoke in for them to comprehend the meaning. Weird coincidence. Anyway, I have some things to look into. Something you're all too slow to see. You still have to tell us about it later. Please remember, you're not on a solo mission, Skadi. This is a team effort from Rhodes Island. Will do. Skadi nodded lightly before leaping off into the night, out of our sights. I'm kinda worried. She's not the best with people, but she's also pretty thoughtful. She'll be okay. Should we head inside? The sun's starting to set already. Amiya, do you not see the sky? I think that the sun is already long set, but anyways. Oh, yeah. We could probably just pick an unlit building and stay the night there, right? Trying our best to ignore the mood that was starting to turn awkward, we made our way into a nearby unoccupied building. Oh, neat. This is really shaping up to be super interesting. Okay. TERRA. LC-PC-3. Excuse me. I gotta keep drinking. She got distracted. We walked past a few narrow buildings and remnants of narrow buildings before we came across a hall large enough to house all 15 or so of us. Okay, now we're ready. With the curtains on the window removed, the smoke has an exit. Whoa. I thought we were doomed to shudder ourselves to sleep with the soaking wet firewood and all. I had no idea that'd work. We just have to get a small fire going underneath it until the wood dries up and catches fire. The downside being all this smoke. It's clear that she has some field experience, unlike some fools I know. I shan't sit here and let her carry the burden of labor alone. Bequeath upon me thine ingredients, young Rodion, for I shall conjure thee a pot of special fixer soup. You're making soup with cookies and jelly? Oh my god! No! No, no! You are not getting anywhere near the kitchen again, not after what you cooked up last time! Well, I must admit to a certain level of interest. As many of our fellows' viscera are oft racked with intense agony upon ingesting dishes of your making. Perhaps it would be wiser that we save the occasion for a safer environment. Right. Don't you remember? We agreed to leave the cooking to Mir or Odie, if we're ever in a situation like this, remember? Did we? See, I think it's becoming sort of an unspoken rule after everything that happened. Remember, back during last year's cooking contest at Gregor, they were the only two people who managed to get remotely positive reviews. Oh, does that mean we'll get to try Otis's cooking once again? Denied. We still have plenty of high-calorie foods like cookies and jellies here. I find no reason to do something so inefficient. I'm glad to see that everyone's still energetic given the circumstances. It can't be easy to suddenly wake up in an unfamiliar environment. Well, we're all quite used to getting thrown into unfamiliar places. Speaking of which, did you manage to reach your colleagues, Amiya? She shook her head, concerned. They might have lost their comms devices, or maybe they ran into some other trouble. Could they be in danger? I don't know, but I'm sure they're okay. Dr. Kaltsit, they're both more than capable enough to look after themselves. Long have this curiosity lingered within me. Thus, allow me to inquire. Corporations are, by their nature, organizations in pursuit of profit. Yet the activities of your corporation resemble those of charity organizations, as opposed to a pharmaceutical company. Is there aught that might explicate this blurred distinction? Aha! I wanted to know too. How come a pharmaceutical company like Rhodes Island's helping people? Something about what Hong Lu said brings back unpleasant memories. The horrible experiments seen throughout the cascade of flowing tears in the face of suffering. The embodiment of greed that left a terrible wound in Hong Lu's fathoms. The pharmaceutical companies I've seen in my journey were corporations that, despite possessing the capacity to heal, chose to obsess over the profit it can provide. There are many in TERRA who are suffering from a disease. The disease crystallizes you. It spreads deeper and deeper into the infected's internal organs, eventually culminating in their death. It's called oropathy. Amiya showed me the back of her right hand, dotted by what appeared to be obsidian crystallizations. Its appearance reminded me of the biotreatments from the back streets. There was something more to it. Something more restless, more sinister. It's a terrible, painful disease, but there haven't been many recorded cases of a full recovery. But there's an even worse problem. Pray tell, what could possibly be worse than an incurable deadly disease? While it varies region by region, discrimination against the infected is widespread across TERRA. Those who suffer from it must face unfair treatment. Yi-song began with a dark expression. Some are quarantined in places with terrible, inhumane conditions. And there have been massacres, too. I don't mean to be callous, but is this oropathy highly contagious? No, there have not been any recorded cases of infection by contact, as long as the subjects are alive. But when the infected dies, the crystal growths on their body decay and turn to dust, scattering, which is what spreads the plague. Then, barring environments like active battlefields where casualties are to be expected, staying within close proximity to the infected in daily life seems to pose hardly any risk. So what's the problem then? They're already past the point of caring about what the problem is. Once people start feeling iffy, all logic goes out the window. Then Rhodes Island's goal has to be, yes, it is important to develop a cure for oropathy, but I think what really matters is that we change the circumstances for the better for the infected. That's not going to be an easy endeavor, though that is what gives your effort more meaning. I hope you can achieve that goal, Amiya. I really do. Sob for truth! The city, this world. We both live in worlds full of surprises, don't we? What kind of world did you come from, this city? What kind of place is the city, anyway? The kind of place with too many pointless rules. The kind of place where the moment you think, isn't this too much, you see something even worse. Try as I might, I couldn't think of a single positive thing about the city. The sinners seemed to be in agreement, as most of what came after was quite scathing. The kind of place where good deeds rarely ever go unpunished, where sympathy's a good attitude to have if you like getting stabbed in the back. Nothing good ever works out there. It's a shithole. It's an irrational place full of absurdities. Absurdity is an omnipresence. Therefore, it is not a subject by which one should be aggrieved. We can at least grouse about them, though. I mean, it's the only thing we can do. It would be more correct to experience more and acclimatize oneself to it instead of complaining. You did say something like that last time. Just as the mood was starting to turn rather sour, Don Quixote's shouts shattered through the awkwardness. Verily, nary a day goeth by untarnished by villains and their fell deeds. Yet worry thee not, for where evil riseth, so doth fixers of justice do. Don Quixote jumped from her seat and passionately shook her fist, which was followed by a heavy crack and the sound of small pebbles tumbling down. Don Quixote, watch out! Whoa! And from behind the wall, she accidentally broke down. An unfamiliar visage of a villager appeared and stared back at Don Quixote. It appeared that she was eating something out of a can while reading a book. How farest thou? Bearest thy foot? You gotta apologize first. Lass seemed a tad too hyper today. Apologies, for I hardly expected the wall to crumble with such ease. Art thou unhurt? Any injuries? To? Pray tell, to what? Forget the apology. I just want to know what happens next. The Fixers of Justice rose up to do what? Oh, hast thou come to me to hear the tale of the Fixers? I don't know about coming to us, given how Miss Don Quixote was the one who punched the wall down. Ahem. Excuse me. Oh, man. Sorry about that. Oh, is it too late an hour? I don't mind waiting till morning if you want to sleep. Nay, not at all. 'Tis quite early an hour for tales, in fact. Prithee, seat thyself here. You ungovernable fool! Calm down. You don't even know who she is. And don't you forget to share those Fixer tales over there in the corner to not disturb our sleep. Thou makest a request most untenable. These tales deserve to be announced to the world with great gusto from the center. Yeah, that's the best way to hear those kind of stories. But we should probably introduce ourselves to each other first. Name's Mayers. I'm... how should I put this? Ah, did you meet the village chief earlier during the day? He's my Gramps.
Oh, that nice guy? So he had a granddaughter. Yet, I have not seen you once, Miss Mayers, under the sun.
Oh my, you're right. I thought the village was completely dried of any young blood.
Like Ratia said, while we didn't see Mayers out there, there wasn't anyone else in the village we could comfortably call young.
You're telling me Gramps was worrying over nothing and told me to stay put inside? Going on and on about the dangers and that the outsiders pose and everything. It seems that they do not give full faith to their saviors. There are things you cannot share even with whom you trust your life with your life. Though, I would like to know why. My. So there are a bunch of other kids who are stuck indoors in this village? No. There isn't anyone around my age in the village at all. If that's the case, I guess I can understand why he'd be overprotective. Anyways, it's our turn. We are... I'm good. I heard enough to get an idea.
You did?
Oh, pray, how didst thou hear us? Via a listening device most secret upon our chamber?
Mayers tapped the side of the wall, part of it that was still standing, anyway, and smiled ironically.
That's soundproofing. I can hear pretty much everything, Don Quixote, right? Everything Don Quixote practically sang during the day. Verily, I see.
It's so good. I agree. This is awesome so far. I think you could really do with some sense of embarrassment for once.
Well, I guess that's good enough for self-introduction, so... Care to regale me with the tale of fixers who bring justice to the evils of the city? Indubitably, then. This shall do. I shall regale thee with the tale in which the legendary fixer, the Archmagnificence herself, the Red Mist hath...
I suppose that killed any hope for a good night's kip.
But, don't you usually pass out within a minute of your back hitting the hay, no matter how noisy things are?
What? Do you take me for some kind of hibernating bear or something? Look, even I have trouble sleeping when there's noise all over.
I'd say bear in hibernation is a pretty apt descriptor. For all that grumbling and moaning, he dozed off before any of us did.
Aside from Heathcliff, who began snoring the moment his head touched the ground, some other sinners were fast asleep as well. Or so had entered sleep in his usual steadfast adherence to the routine, while Faust laid claim to one of the few available cloth sheets as soon as the close of business for the day was confirmed. The sinners, who had spent the entire last night searching for me in this unfamiliar land, slowly began to fall asleep as well.
Meanwhile, the Fixer of the Spy Association's first section.
Though the night was no longer young, Don Quixote was still vigorously sharing the tales of adventures without even a single sign of fatigue. She's not determined to do this until sunrise, is she?
Oh,
I guess it's okay since Mayer seems to be having fun. As I continued to watch the pair with some mild concern, Amiya, not yet asleep, approached me.
This city Miss Don Quixote speaks of seems to be teeming with fixers of justice and exhilarating tales of adventures. Did you actually experience all of them yourselves? No, of course not. Don Quixote's stories are usually those of other famous people. But she's telling it with such vigor that it almost sounds like she was there herself. Well, I guess if you really want to get into it, some of them might be retellings of Don Quixote's personal experiences. Ishmael replied uncertainly, thinking back to the plays we were made to watch back in La Mancha land. Well, I think all those stories, even though they're only partially true, just got to show what a ridiculous place it can be. We wouldn't need fixtures of justice to begin with if we really lived in a just world, right? A really good place to live would be quiet and peaceful without someone having to force it. That's true. I hope there'll come a day when Rhodes Island can be a normal pharmaceutical company in the future. Something wrong? No, I just thought Miss Mayers and I made eye contact. Did she overhear our conversation? I looked to her direction as well, but all I saw was Mayers excitingly reacting to Don Quixote's tales. Whoa, what happened then? Thus spake Lady Otis, boldly before the soldiers who stood in our path. Thou presumest to stand in our path, servants of a master most unworthy. I, Otis, shall educate ye on how manner maketh. Don Quixote was now retelling the stories of Limbus Company's adventures in Hongyuan, and Otis, who could no longer stand Don Quixote's unintentional alterations of the story, jumped to her feet and shouted, "Damn it, what kind of nonsense are you feeding her? I never said anything like that. Ahem. Fairly, certain aspects of this retelling may have been exaggerated. That's tales of adventures for you. Things are bound to get a bit dry when a story is told too realistically and as is, right? You know, nothing. Not even anything resembling a proper record or a book remained once the profound silence swept through this village. You know, nothing. Not even anything resembling a proper record or book remained once the profound silence swept through this village. So I've always had a craving for these kinds of stories. But Iberia doesn't stop Iberians from emigrating, contrary to their tight immigration control. Have you ever thought about leaving this place? It's still a challenge to cross the border, especially since we're going to have to pass through larger cities that are managed by the Inquisition. You don't seem particularly fond of this Inquisition. Why is that? It's because this village was formed by people who grew tired of living under the Inquisition's rule and fled. Sorry, but what kind of organization is this Inquisition? Sinclair asked, face turning cold upon hearing the word Inquisition, and the people fled from it. Yeah, the Nagel and Hammer we saw back at Call aren't the memories that are so easily forgotten. According to Dr. Kaltsit, the Inquisition is what filled the power vacuum once Iberia fell into chaos. That its inquisitors are the rapier and lamp-wielding protectors of Iberia's cities from lawlessness. That alone kind of makes them sound like good people, though. Yeah, they are, but there's the Church of the Deep. The Inquisition will go to whatever lengths to deal with incidents related to the church that worships Seaborns. Fie! An organization that worships those monsters? It seems that cultish fanaticism is a plague wherever we go. I feel like people with all kinds of wrong faiths and beliefs are so common. See, the Seaborns are the one that messed up Iberia. So, following their logic, apparently it's okay for them to arrest anyone who seems even remotely connected to them. Are you saying that Iberia is like this because of the Seaborns? Those things from earlier? I guess they were kind of troublesome to deal with, but they didn't seem that strong. Anyways, it's just what I heard from Gramps, but the Inquisition executed many innocent people too in their crusade against the Church of the Deep. For those who proclaim to be on the side of justice, they seem quite fond of committing such villainy. It seems like a reasonable policy decision to me, but it must pose a clear danger to the daily lives of civilians. Yeah, I heard I was the only survivor. Everyone in my family died. You must have had to endure such a long period of pain. To be able to say something like that with such composure. For Iberia, they are heroes who will bring the land back to its glory days. But to Gramps, they were just oppressors making his life difficult. That's why we've all come here, fleeing from the Inquisition's gaze. The four creatures were asleep, the three going through the zoomies. Yet, we're Wherefore hast thou decided to settle at a place that is so, rundown? Indeed. Yeah, I know, but it's not so bad once you get used to it. Besides, we managed to find a new path thanks to you guys. A new path? Well, it's getting late. Will you be repairing the ship tomorrow, too? This place really has no soundproofing at all, huh? Good talk, everyone. Hope we'll get another chance to do this tomorrow, too. Oh my. After seeing Mayor's to her own room, the other sinners, those who were still up anyway, and I laid ourselves on the hard stone floor with only a thin layer of cloth between it and our backs. A mysterious world that is neither the city nor the outskirts. But it seemed that the lives its people led were just as difficult as they were anywhere else. Interesting. Okay. Vessel Massus. Clear within 15 turns. Okay. Okay, so... Okay, so we definitely want
군주가 나선다.
these three because of the ego. Well, I'm not going to pull her because if we're going to use her as support... Oh, wait. So support, first of all. Okay. That's 40%. Musey, which one is yours? Do you know? Which one is your... Excuse me. Which ID are you using right now? You click support on the side and find her with the 40%. I got two right here with the 40%. So mine is family. Okay, so then that should be yours. All right. Excuse me. Okay. Okay, so it's letting me... Okay. Hold on 1 second here. All right, so we definitely want these four for the ego. Who else do I want to use? Okay, so Go with Sinclair, so then these will be my backup. That'll be my backup. Okay. Okay. All right, let's try it. Which also works with your Honglu and Rupture comp. Okay. Dawn, isn't she based on a fictional Inquisitor by name? I know the name and I know the story, like I know what story she's from, but I don't know as far as like what she's actually based on. I don't know what Don Quixote is. I don't know that story. The only thing I know about it is that when I was in high school, my high school did the play for it for their musical 1 year, and I didn't go. I never went to those things because my high school was so bad with stuff like that. And there was a lot of like controversy in around the time too, where there were kids that were really, really good and were dedicating their lives to like musical theater and stuff like that. They were really studying it and they were looking to go into things in college at the time. And this was probably like my junior year, maybe. And something like that. It was my junior year. And there was kids that I knew that were really putting the effort in and should have been in lead roles and stuff, and really compared to the ones that were selected, it was kind of obvious they were only done because they were kids of parents who, you know, handed some money out, and yeah, they had no business in the roles that they had. And that's an unfortunate thing and a shame, but I never really went to those things because that's kind of what the school district I went to was like. They were crappy with stuff like that, unfortunately. I would rather see the people who were willing to put in the effort and were giving it their all than the ones that were just shoehorned into positions that they shouldn't have been. But that's neither here nor there. I like to see people's hard work be rewarded. when it's, you know, it's what they're there for. The others were just there for the face, you know, get the attention, the 15 seconds of fame, so to speak. They didn't care about it. But plus, I never really went to a lot of things at that time either because my hockey schedule kept me from doing a lot. So, but it was funny. And I will say this because of the fact that I was never good with like other languages and pronouncing things like that. I didn't know it was pronounced Don Quixote at that. And my ex-girlfriend at the time had corrected me because I said Don Quixote, and she was like, it's Don Quixote. And I'm like, sorry, I didn't know this. Just chill. Jeez. Because it was in the pamphlet or whatever. And I'm like, that they were giving out to all the kids. I'm like, okay, whatever. Bye. Sorry. Yeah. Well, needless to say, I'm not with her anymore because she was kind of psycho, but moving on. It's so big. That's what she said. Sorry, Dante. Moving on. Amazing. I didn't know there were remaining vessels of this class in Iberia. Ah. I espy her name here. It is called by the name Rebellion de las Masas. Rebellion de las Masas. Revolt of the Masses, is it? A name very much mired in peculiarity. Indeed. Dang. I screenshotted that one. I did too. I just did that. I hit my click button, so... Excuse me. Ong Lu chimed in that he was rather fond of it, with its size being about the same as the boat from his home, while Ishmael quickly jumped in to correct us that its size alone wasn't anything special at the Great Lake, but it was still pretty big compared to Mephi or the Indigo Elder's skiff. I thought it was going to be somewhere around Mephi's size at most. Are you sure you can get the ship fixed in a day or two? As I briefed you yesterday, the great majority of the time-consuming repairs had already been completed by the villagers. The extent of our repair efforts only concerns a few components within the vessel that the villagers could not repair, which shouldn't take us much time. Unless parts that are unfamiliar to Faust are also malfunctioning, such as the core engine, remaining repairs should be sufficiently managed by Faust. Despite Otis's confident declaration, I could not help but feel oddly unsettled as I looked at the ship. I don't know why, but something tells me that we don't want to linger here for too long. Still, please be thorough about it, just in case. I'd rather not sit on a sinking ship again. The experience at the Great Lake was enough. Do not worry, Dante. Unlike Mephistopheles, most functions of this vessel, buoyancy gear, propellers, steering gear, are all in operational capacity. This repair should be much easier than the case with Mephistopheles. They seem confident enough. It should be safe this time around, right? Are we taking that rope to climb up to the ship? No, there's a lift-like apparatus down here. It should take us up to the ship. Its stability was verified yesterday. Let us board the lift. You're 100% certain, right? The boat is afloat right now, Dante. I don't think it'll be sinking anytime soon. Wouldn't that be nice? Oi, are you two just going to faff about down there? Down here, we're heading up now. No, we're going with you. As I made my way into the vessel's bridge, I was greeted by the extravagant interior that was as gaudy as its exterior. Very interesting. Need your technology. Anyways. This isn't real gold, is it? Sure is shiny as heck in here. I've got butterflies in my stomach. Yes. Aesthetically satisfying, she says. But too ostentatious. Not quite my style. Our young Mephi is also quite the excellent vessel, yet imagine the adventures we could embark on aboard this vessel most lavishly decorated. As Faust and Otis were working on one of the control panels, Ishmael walked up to another and interfaced with it before giving a knowing nod. This must have been an investigative or research vessel of sorts, but it does seem a bit extravagant for one of those, though. Look, coordinates. Updating in real time, it seems. The coordinates seem to have been set to somewhere out in the middle of the ocean. Maybe it points to a small islet? Nope, no islet there. Wah! Blimey, lass. You sure know how to sneak up on people. Mayors! What? Did I actually surprise you? I did ask if you guys are gonna come fix the boat today. Still, I didn't know you'd be here. Where are the coordinates set to this location? There are several undersea cities beneath these coordinates, collectively known as E.G.O. Gramps' home. I see. Understood. What was understood, if I may ask? It is now understood why the promise to repair this ship was sufficient to earn their trust in the title of saviors. What's she on about? Someone get translating. Consolidating and cross-referencing the observed particle circumstances of the village, particular circumstances of the village, and the statements from the village chief, alongside information garnered from the exchange with mayors, it is possible to gauge the significance this ship's repairs has had to the local populace. Of course, while this may constitute a sequence of logical connections that poses a certain challenge for Heathcliff to comprehend. Don Quixote was based on a male Spanish inquisitor named Don Quixote. Okay. To employ any degree of effort to attempt to explain it in more digestible language would constitute a pursuit of inefficiency. Lower the baton, I implore you. I shall explain it in full. I was wondering when Miss Smartarse would start gabbing like that again. So what's she on about? Heathcliff's shoulders were relaxed. It didn't seem like he was actually going to swing the bat. Placed it lightly over his shoulder with a sigh. A brief observation of the village seemed to suggest that their subsistence situation was quite dire. Much of their daily sustenance consisted of dried food, most of them made for long-term storage purposes. Considering what Skadi said about the coastal areas are full of danger, maybe those dried seafood aren't from around here either. Maybe it's food they packed when they first came to Ferro Morto. Some villagers were armed, yeah, and those sea terrors weren't exactly that formidable, but given the state that the villagers are in, I doubt they'd have an easy time repelling those sea monsters. Indeed. That brings us to the question of sustenance. Right. I get what's going on here. The lass and her granddad are about to visit their hometown, and they're trying to get some food and supplies from there to feed the villagers, and to convince them they're planning to use the fact they're from the same neck of the woods, or sea, I guess. Oh, so we're not just repairing their ship, we're repairing their food supply plan too. Huh? What's wrong? It's, While the expressions were rather crude, Heathcliff's summary of the situation was clear, to the point, and easily understood. The sinner stared at him with mild surprise, and I did too. What's with them annoying looks? Wait. Oh, you sods. You don't think I'm that dim-witted, do you? Top-notch intuition. She just doesn't care. She does not give a shit. She just straight up, nope, right on the money. You got this. I love their banter. The banter and bickering between the sinners is so good. It's just that it's been a while since you've showed this side of yourself. Thinking back, Heathcliff's intuition has always been excellent, and he'd often put together surprisingly accurate conclusions with impressive speed. You know, when you really think about it, it's kind of your fault for... I've been too soft on you lately, haven't I? Oi, get back here! Ahem. Now with those fools out of the conversation, was he correct? Lotus looks away from the usual chaos and asks Mayors. Honestly, I'm surprised. He was on point. Yeah, food's been running low in the village. At this rate, we won't last another year. But the E.G.O. will. I'm sure they'll welcome us with open arms. I don't want to come off like I'm overly worried, but do you think they'll welcome the others too? Unlike mayors or chief, they're not E.G.O. I believe they will. Iberia suspects and hates the E.G.O. for no other reason than that we're from the sea, but our home cannot have fallen so low as to abandon a group of starving land dwellers. But prithee, might thou explain to us who the E.G.O. are? I had initially thought it to be a reference to a region, but it also seems to refer to an affiliation of sorts. Maybe there's something like nest dwellers. Though I don't think I've heard of a nest that accepts Backstreet people into the open arms. That accepts Backstreet's people with open arms. Or maybe they used to be some rich folk? If they call them nest toffs Aegir here, then does that make the rabbit-eared lass Aegir too? Wait. In the world you came from, do they not distinguish between races? That is not entirely true. Delineation between races is a concept that does exist. Though I only saw them in the Fathoms, there were those terrifying things called the cuckoo spawns. However, as a general rule, it can be said that humans are... humans should be the only intelligent life forms in the city. The people of TERRA have slightly varying appearances depending on their race, like my goddess ears. And I've got pointed ears because I'm an Aegir. Though it's not a characteristic every Aegir shares. The closest idea to what they are discussing appeareth to be, Don Quixote seemed to be struggling to finish her sentence. Marceau stepped in to continue. By context clues and the manner of word usage, including the means of classification, the closest example in our world would be blood fiends. Similar external appearances to humans, different natures, comparable sapience. It is of my belief that blood fiends are ostracized due to their nature that maketh coexistence with humans difficult. It may be that the Aegir are also... I'm sure some of them do possess qualities that make coexistence with others difficult, but they're probably rare. Then wherefore are they made of subjects of suspicion and hatred? That's... Well, the language is new, but the idea itself is pretty familiar to the city folks like us. Think of feathers of fallen wings. Kids born in the back streets. People who replace their body parts with prosthetics. The form differs, yet in its essence we find the thread. Something about how we keep finding these similarities in the ways of our lives, despite finding ourselves in a distant world with different rules, races, and humans, felt oddly discomforting. Ahem. Point is, you guys are doing us a real solid by fixing up the ship. Let's move on from these gloomy conversations, okay? I want to show you the cooler parts of this ship. This way. The ship tour may have to wait. The repairs are almost completed, but an issue has arisen. Issue? Well, that's not reassuring at all. Multiple life forms identified ahead. Soon to be a sea terror horde. The ship's radar system seems to suggest that the vessel is surrounded. They're the same monsters from yesterday. Executive Manager, please order us to prepare for battle. Damn it. Are they the sea terrors you encountered? They look a bit different, but yeah, probably. There's a lot of them, but if our last experience tells us anything, we should be able to handle this. Amiya, please support us in battle like you did yesterday. Canst thou fight, young mares? I feel like I'm just gonna get in your way. Then, guys, find a place to keep mares as far as possible from the battle. Then let's hurry down there. We don't want them damaging the ship any further. All right, let's get into some more combat. Okay. Fun stuff.
행색이 이상하나.
Okay.
내가 봤어. 내가 아시의 이상을 함께 줬던 호위 이상이야.
Okay. That worked. Ooh, we got them now too. That's awesome. Get the ship in the background. Keep it rolling, will you? Okay. I love it. I love hearing Amiya. It's so cool.
일기당천.
Fight. Nom noms. Come on, Seaborn. What do you got? Oh, is that cool? Okay. Mm-hmm. Ooh. Mm-hmm. Dominating. Both are dominating. Let's go with that. Mm-hmm. No. I want that one. And that one. And this one. That works. It's so funny when you play Limbus main story and Amiya is just there. I like hearing her in game. It's so cool. Ooh. Bye-bye. That was an effective strike against the enemy. I love how, you know, you have her art style as the Limbus art style in the story and stuff here, but then when she pops up here, it's her Arknights art style, which is so cool. That is neat. Okay. Okay.
시비수의 목적일지 잘 생각해보고
꿰뚫려라.
Oh wow. Getting to see her do some damage, that was awesome.
아닐 텐데.
지금은 좋았어요.
Stabby! You know, I was reviewing a clip from earlier, and I was starting to work on some editing, some clips to release, and I have a clip from one of the streams that I first used that version of Faust on, and when she was doing the stab thing, the like impaling attack, and I'm like, wow, you can do that to me anytime, Mommy Faust. And I was like, wait, no, never mind, sorry. I like the stuff that I don't remember that I say. It's crazy. I don't get it. I don't get what goes through my mind sometimes. It certainly makes for some fun content, at least. Let's do some of this stuff. That works. I love this music.
저 해충들을 도려내라. 아닐 텐데.
I agree, except for Chromie.
길을 열어 넌
I still have yet to meet her, so I will reserve saying things like that. But you know,
넌 튀울 수도
maybe I will have that same sentiment, Yuzi, someday.
Mission accomplished.
I still love that. Mission accomplished. It's so cool. Excuse me. Most valued employee, Honglu again. I kind of want to cosplay this Honglu. God, that would be cool. That would be a someday idea, I guess. All right. How are we doing with the reward stuff? I'm curious. 154. Okay, cool. Honglu does combo attacks with other Heisho. It's really neat. Ah, oh, that's cool. LCPC 5. Okay, cool. We'll roll with the same thing. Support. Boom.
임무 시작.
Yes. I definitely want to do Limbus Company cosplay. I still want to do Dante. I still want to work on a Dante, but for sure, Honglu. He's right up. He's right up my alley. I gotta do Honglu.
내가 맞서.
Okay.
아시의 이상을 함께 줬던 호위 이상이요. 가족을 위해.
Oh, she's cool.
꿰뚫려라.
What? What did I do now? What did I do now? What is that for? Okay, Johnny, that scares me. On the ones that are counters, you can use your dodge counter to avoid hitting it. The ones that are counters, you can use your dodge counter to avoid hitting it. Or just hit the big guys and hopefully tank it. I'm confused. I'm sorry. I think you lost me here. It's been long enough that I don't know what exactly we're going for here. The big flower, you woke it up. Oh, okay, that guy. Number of E.G.O resources in, that's pretty cool. Okay. Blue. Purple. Okay.
시간 끌 것
with that.
없이 모조리 치워버리자.
It stays sleeping if you don't hit it. Okay. I wasn't even actually really looking at the enemies. I was just kind of focused more on what path I was taking with my skills on the bottom. So that's interesting to know. When you said, okay, Johnny, I was thinking I said something wrong. I was like, oh God, what am I getting hit for now? Please don't hurt me. Okay. I see it. It's staggered though right now. To avoid hitting something, if you see an arrow going towards the character, you can use a dodge or block to avoid hitting it. Okay. I'll have to keep that in mind then for next time.
정화.
Oh, that was a cool attack. That was wicked. Nice. Oh my. On normal mode, it's okay, but on hard mode, that would have been scary to wake it up so soon. Oh, I bet. I'm definitely not ready for anything hard mode on this game. That's for darn sure. I'm still trying to figure it all out, you know? I'm only on, what, chapter 3? Or whatever? On main story stuff? Your skills are just like those of elite operators. Well, that's awesome to know.
시간 끌 것 없이 모조리 치워버리자.
Yep. Eventually we'll get there. We'll definitely get into some harder mode type stuff, but you know, I gotta feel it out. I gotta get more of the main story and stuff going here with this and continue to build up my team.
Mission accomplished.
That's so cool. I'm not gonna get over that. It's gonna be so sad when this is not in the game anymore.
The remaining entities have all returned to the sea. Is everyone okay?
It was just like our last skirmish. Sea terrors that had surrounded the ship returned to sea even before the battle came to an end, and their retreat felt too orderly and deliberate to be just running away. It's almost like they're making a tactical retreat.
We're doing peachy, but what about the ship? Fal, is the ship okay? Minor damages to the hull, but nothing that will impede the ship's operational capabilities. Phew. So, I noticed during the battle, I might be wrong, of course, but I think I noticed how, around the end of the battle, those monsters were starting to go after the manager? You're probably right, actually. I noticed too, at some point during our battle, those monsters realized that it's the manager who's commanding the rest of us. I sensed the very same. Their movements were fluid and adaptive, as though they were learning our behavior. Why does the Church of the Deep worship monsters like them?
That ain't much of a question, innit? They must have all gone mental.
I'm sure they have many reasons, but Seaborns are beings of infinite potential, so much so that there's no superlative big enough to properly convey the scale. As organisms, they can endlessly evolve and adapt. Every time they encounter a new environment or a new element, they transform themselves and other Seaborns. Maybe that's their draw. That fascination may be an attitude most befitting a researcher, yet the transformation of fascination into idolatry is, if I may be frank, not entirely positive. I find them pretty uncomfortable. They just remind me of whales. Then, can they adapt to learn a language to communicate with us? What? Going by everything we heard, I think they sound really smart. Mayer's eyes went round at Honglu's suggestion. She brought her hands to her mouth, surprised. It sure was something. I heard that there was a Seaborn who could talk. If non-humans speak the language of humans, regardless of its testament to their intelligence, I can only think of two possibilities as to why they would. One, to communicate with humans, the other, to deceive humans. More often than not, it's the latter. What about distortions? Some of them already know how to speak. Distortions are phenomena in which humans transform into monstrous forms, first observed after the White Knights and the Dark Days incident. Therefore, that example is irrelevant to Otis's supposition. White Knights and Dark Days? She whispered quietly, but as we were standing rather close to her, we all caught on to the hint of joy in her voice. The Pillar of Light in the city, did it really... How have you come across this knowledge, Miss Mayers? Oh, that's... Ain't it obvious? We've got the culprit right here, the storyteller lass who's been gabbing on with no end. Yeah, she's been talking nonstop all morning about all kinds of stories, hasn't she? Oh? Yet I have not gotten that far. You again? You didn't get so lost in your own stories that you blabbed up all about our company's secrets, have you? Nay, I would simply not. As Don Quixote was subject to yet another round of scolding, Amiya stared outward toward the sea, wary that the sea terrors might start crawling to the surface once again before turning towards us. I wonder which of the two the Seaborns are. Their sense of self is really, really faint, so I don't think they'd be in either category. I think it's possible that they learned human language out of instinct that the power of speech might help them survive. It appears that you, Miss Mayers, are quite the expert on the subject of Seaborns. Your knowledge of them goes beyond what fear for one's survival may yield, thereby suggesting a different means of acquisition. Do you, by chance, worship the Seaborns? I don't worship the Seaborns. Seaborns don't have any hopes or wishes, just desire for survival. Miss Mayers, does that mean if Seaborns were somehow able to hope? Maybe so. Is that so? The repairs are complete. As we were conversing, Faust descended from the ship with a neatly organized set of tools borrowed from the village. Repairs completed. I'm guessing repairs are done? Yes, the ship is ready to set sail. Did you have a departure time and date in mind? I would prefer it if we could depart as soon as possible. We don't have a set time or anything, but I think we should be able to set sail this late afternoon at the earliest. That's soon. As you've seen, we don't have a lot to bring with us. By the way, how far out to sea do you guys need to go? We need to find this dimensional door of sorts. I could see the dimensional door's light from the beach at night. It was faint, but given how the light's strong enough to break through the sea fog, we should be able to determine its location somewhere around the coastal waters. So, we can go back tonight? The first order of business is to relay this news to the villagers. Yeah, back to the village for now. Back to the village. Ah, Gregor got most valuable employee. Most valued employee this time. Wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful. And we got some lunacy. I keep wanting to say sanity for some reason. All right. Interesting. So we still have plenty of time to continue, but I think I've got to call it for now, guys, because it is 1 o'clock in the morning for me, and I do have about 5 hours and 40 minutes-ish until I need to get up, but for work. But that was freaking
Awesome. So let's take a couple minutes and talk about it so far. Ooh-wee. Barring our little issue at the beginning there with the update that basically took away from things, we had a bit of lag thanks to how things went there. That was awesome. That was really, really, really fun. Honestly, I am so thrilled with how well they have captured Amiya's personality, with how well they've interpreted Iberia so far, and the Seaborn, the monsters, the way the Seaborn act as not just enemies, but the way that they're talking about them. They're learning from mayors, they're learning from Amiya and the others at the village and things like that. The overall feeling and aesthetic of TERRA, you feel comfortable as an Arknights player, and is that my primary, game, my favorite game? It's, you feel Arknights coming through here, but in the lens of Limbus Company, the terror, the sense of terror, the sense of dread that is brought more from Limbus Company is felt overarching, and it's so cool how that is. Like that is, there's just something about it overall that's incredible, and I can't get over that. They've done an amazing job with this, and I'm just beyond happy with how it is so far. And I'm so anxious to learn more about the story, but it does feel like they've really, really put so much effort into making sure that the spirit of both games is here. And it's not often you see that with collabs with games. It was some of them that just take an aesthetic from another game, or some of them that just take a character and they're like, okay, we're using this character or a skin for our characters on this game. No. They went all out here, and this is fantastic. This is so well done, and I'm excited to see how much further it goes, and if we're going to see any of the other Arknights characters involved, because it obviously we've talked about Kaltsit, we've talked about Doctor, but we're in Iberia. There's some operators and stuff around that would make some cool appearances here. So we'll see how that plays out. But the art is just fantastic. It's so well done as well, and really captures Iberia. We get the ship that obviously it's a new ship. It's named, it's new for this, but it looks similar to the past ships that we've seen in Arknights, like Saltifera navies and stuff like that. But it's really digging into some interesting things. We got to see Skadi as well, which was pretty cool. Very fitting, very interesting to see. But the combat as well so far has been great in terms of really giving a higher difficulty with the Seaborn. And that's one thing, that the Seaborn events in Arknights are a bit more difficult. They're not crazy difficult, but the Seaborn are meant to be a more imposing threat, and ever evolving, ever constantly gaining new knowledge, learning, adapting to situations. And that's something that at this, wherever this is taking place, is way before like Path of Life, and again, probably before Saltifera navies. It could be after Undertides, and that's or in around that time period, which is kind of what I'm getting at. But as far as like how things go, it was later explained that they have adapted multiple times to combat the Seaborn threat. They have adapted newer versions of weaponry, generation so-and-so. They were on like Gen 4, I think, at the beginning of Path of Life, for new weapons to be able to take out the Seaborn and destroy them, but they were adapting to be able to cope with the damage and the heat from that weapon. And it's like there's always this constant development from the Iberian forces, from the Inquisition, from the E.G.O and stuff, to be able to combat the Seaborn. So giving them the imposing threat that is here in Limbus Company is so cool to actually feel that. So I'm anxious to see how much farther it goes. That's awesome. Absolutely my favorite part of the collab, how the city's dread is added to the world of TERRA. And that's the amazing part too, is the fact that we've got the sinners, we've got Dante, everybody is in TERRA. So we're getting that perspective as well. That's so neat And of all things that they could have chosen, of all things on the Arknights side that they could have chosen that really matched with Limbus Company, the Seaborn. It's perfect. There's other things that I'm sure that they could have done and they could have twisted in a really cool way, but this is just perfect. This is so well done. And I couldn't have picked something better to be the source of the story for the collab. So really well done. It just gets more fun. I hated the spiky ones the worst. Oh man. Well, we didn't get to try the E.G.Os tonight, so that'll be on the plan tomorrow. We'll have to try the E.G.Os, but I don't think I got far enough anywhere where I needed them anyways. But it's one of those things where I don't even remember really how to use E.G.Os. I think I only used one time, or maybe twice since I've started playing. So I haven't really gotten to try E.G.O stuff. So that'll be something on the list for sure. But I'm thrilled. The music, the sound effects, Amiya, you know, her voice as the announcer, and the mission accomplished thing, and the music. It's so cool. It's just they really made this a top tier collab and something beyond what other places do. I'm very happy with it. So yeah, they did so good. I agree 100%. You'll get to use them on bosses. You hold down on the character's face at the bottom. Okay. I think I vaguely am remembering something now. And you have to have enough resources. Yeah, I do remember about the resources. I just can't remember. I think the only one that I tried so far was Dimension Shredder Honglu. I think that was it, but that was a while back. So collab was great. I'm glad you liked it. I'm glad everybody seems to have a very positive reception for it so far. And that's got me even more excited for it. And we still have plenty of time here. I mean, I know it ends on the 23rd, but one quick question is, in order to get the in-game currency, is it possible to like farm stages, or is that something that like I could do essentially for, you know, any stages that I've already completed? I could go back and farm them. Is that a thing, or is that not correct? Sometimes bosses will roll too high to clash, and you have to use an E.G.O to clash effectively. Okay, makes sure. Makes sense. Duh. And yes, you can farm the Arknights event. Okay. I was just wondering because like I might on my spare time while at work do that. And I just remembered to convert my encapsulin into module. So also, any new main story stages will give rewards such as Canto 3, also mirror dungeons. Okay. I just wanted to make sure that I'd be able to farm for like the in-event currency so that I could, you know, sit and work on that a little bit so that I'm not waiting till the last minute, you know, as time provides for me. So, all right. Well, with that said, guys, I appreciate everybody for hanging out here for this. It's been a while since we've done Limbus Company. But we'll come back tomorrow. I don't have anything major going on, so there's a chance I could start earlier than I did tonight. I don't know for sure, though. I'll keep you guys posted. Make sure to check on social media. And if you're not in the Discord, if you're not in the Discord, make sure to check on the community Discord and jump in there where you guys can join us. And I try to make announcements there when I'm going live. Usually it's last minute, but as it is, we'll definitely be coming back tomorrow night for more of this because I want to get this finished soon. But I've got some other stuff that I need to record as well as stream here soon too. So we'll keep you guys posted on that. But with that said, this was a lot of fun and I can't wait to find out more. If you're new to the channel, please make sure to subscribe so we can continue to grow here and reach our goal. We're heading for a YouTube partner and we're getting very, very close. So I'd appreciate that. And like the stream as well so that we can get out there a little more. The algorithm pushes us out there to get seen by some new people as well. Thank you guys so much. That's it for this one. We will see you guys tomorrow night. Take care.